Good morning, good morning. How you guys doing? Bright and early on this Tuesday morning. Glad you were with me. Just looking through Yahoo Finance, looking through their news section. And I see that there's a lot of earnings that are coming out. So I wanted to look through the headlines together with you and just see what the headlines are saying, and then look at the charts and see what the charts are telling us. See what the relationship is between what we're reading and what we're seeing through the lens of supply and demand. So I thought that'd be interesting to see the dynamic between the two. So thank you for joining. If there's any stocks start coming out with earnings this week that you'd like us to take a look at, leave a comment down below in the comment section or to the side, wherever it's located. And let me know which stock you are watching that has earnings coming out that you'd like to see. You'd like to take a look at it and see what the supply and demand dynamic is. Okay? So we'll do that. So first we'll start by taking a look at the headlines here. And Pfizer, Moderna battle over COVID vaccine patents. First of all, how is that? Is Moderna still a thing? Are they still MDR? What is it? MRNA? Interesting. The ticker symbol that they used for Moderna, mRNA. Huh? Let's see where price is at right now. We had that massive rally, which took us to from 2020 $17 to $400. Like, that is just ridiculous. If that was oh wow, what a setup that was, right? 2020 they came out with that whole stuff, and the stock just rocketed over to $500. So we have institutional demand here, which we are reacting to right now. Okay, that took place at $70. So this demand is in play, and we got a slight move to the upside on the monthly chart. So that's why we're getting that push to the upside. But at the same time, looks like we have yeah, actually it looks pretty good. Looks like demand is coming in here, being the main driving factor of price. That's for sure. So it looks like it's still something that traders and investors are looking at, from what I can tell. So it looks like it's being bought up. So Pfizer versus Moderna battle over COVID vaccine patents begins in UK. Pfizer, PFE, yeah, there we are. Let's look at their chart. What's going on with them? Yeah, they had their nice rally up. 2020, it wasn't as big as the Moderna. And it looks like supply zones are being removed left, right, and center. Demand zones are being removed left, right, and center. So I wouldn't even be looking at this chart in terms of any upside pressure being coming into play here. Demand zones being removed, supply areas being created. So this is supply, right? These areas are supply. Look, supply. This is an upward structure that existed here. Okay. And look where that broke, right here. So I would say that the latest area of significant selling is this area here. So anybody even thinking about going long Pfizer shouldn't be. The only way you could ever go long Pfizer is if this area is surpassed. That would open up the floodgates for a move up to here. Okay? But until that happens, I wouldn't even be looking at Pfizer for a trade. Let's see. Halliburton sees profits. Okay. Inside Palantirs. Palantirs. That was one. PLTR. There you are. That was one that I was looking at. Because there was some insider buying that was taking place with that one. Palantir. Yeah. Looks like some buying was taking place down here at the $8 area on the weekly chart. They came in again at about $15. Now supply is coming in, and you see the downward pressure from this area here. So we're between demand and supply on the weekly time frames. So you have to switch it down to the daily time frame to take a look at what's happening here. And yeah, it looks like there's room to drop on Palantir. So I wouldn't be a buyer of this one either. Not looking good. Stock market news. Okay, here's an interesting one. We have, where did I see that? They must have changed it. About the S&P stock market today, U.S. futures climb as earnings season kicks into high gear. Well, is it earnings season? Or is it the demand zone that I pointed out previously? Okay, so we have price on the S&P that dropped down here into a institutional demand zone right here. Okay, and now we're seeing the bullish pressure. So again, it's like it's understanding supply and demand, and the fact that there's institutions that come in with massive orders, and if you can locate them on the charts, then you can see the dynamic of how their supply and their demand zones come into play, and how price moves in between those areas. And then depending on what time frames those zones are created on, there's a certain dynamic that price will play through. So we've got demand in play. So a lot of stocks that are hitting their demand zones will see upside pressure come into play. 3 unexpected reasons for investors to buy Carnival stock. So Carnival is one that I've had my eye on. There we go. Because ever since COVID, they've done extremely well. Okay. COVID saw their stock drop, as you can see. Look at that in 2020. That's quite significant. From $48 down to under 12. Then we saw a slight bounce up when things start to open and people start to be able to go on cruises again, but with masks on. That rally didn't last very long because, as you can see, it came up, and then here is the latest area between $18 and $23 of significant selling. So what does that mean? That means the large institutions who control markets and who can move price and have a lot of strength in their buying power and selling power. This was the latest area of selling here. So, you know, do I like the stock? Do I think it's decent? Yeah, I think it's decent. Do I think it has the ability to go higher? Yeah, potentially. Would I be buying it right now? I mean, just keep in mind, this is a selling zone. Okay? Big money powers came in here with selling. So there's going to be a lot of selling pressure here. And as you can see, we've already contacted this area twice. Look what happened the first time we contacted it. Sure, the good thing about this drop is that it didn't surpass the previous lows here. That's a good sign. That means that there could be some renewed interest in buying. So there's a possibility that down here, there's institutional buying coming into play, okay? The reason why is you got to think logically. If price was down here, okay, if price was down here, there's only two reasons why price would get up here to that area of supply. Two reasons. One is the institutions are buying and sending it up there on purpose, okay? They're buying it in great amounts down here and sending it up because they have plans to continue buying until they push price all the way up here. Or the other reason is that they instigate buying, okay? They put in some orders to cause a move to the upside to lure retail traders into buying the stock, only to retrace it up to the area of selling so that they can come in with their sell orders and push price aggressively to the downside. But when it comes down and it's not able to surpass the previous lows, then we start thinking about whether or not there was significant buying here from the institutions, which got price up here. And this reaction to supply is not surpassing the previous lows because they're interested in buying some more right here. Okay. And we might see some more renewed buying. So I would be interested in buying this stock, but I need to see proof that price is going to go higher, because this right now is speculation. But I can tell you just by the formation of what's taking place here that it's looking very positive for a continued move to the upside. Okay. We could take it down because that's the monthly chart. We can take it down to the weekly chart and see what's going on. So again, that selling area is located up here. Okay, so we see the reactions. And here's a good sign. Look at the demand area that I had located on the weekly chart. I located that as an institutional buying area. Price came down to that buying area, respected it, rallied up, came back down. I'd have to do some more analysis to discover whether or not there's any demand in here from the institutions. But it looks like demand on the weekly time frame is holding, pushing price back up, which again, like I said, is a very good sign for a continued move higher. So I'd continue to monitor this one and see whether or not more buying will come in and eventually the deterioration of that area of supply. So this is Carnival Cruise Lines. The other one is what is it called? Royal Caribbean. Royal Caribbean, compared to Carnival, has done extremely well. Look at that. It dropped from 130 down to 30 and has pretty much made its way all the way back up there. Pretty darn quickly as well. Yeah, we spotted the buying down here. And they took it from $81 up to $140. Good for them. We had another zone here that we were watching for price to come down into for long trade. But as we can see, price never made it all the way down. And instead, they just continued buying. So that's pretty good. Too high now. I'd need it to retrace for me to be interested in going long that one. Let's see some other headlines. Biggest earnings. Oh, Tesla. Tesla's a big one. So I see a lot of people talking about Tesla. Like I've mentioned, Elon Musk was selling this sucker back here. And, you know, so a lot of selling from Elon Musk. And so massive supply. I don't want to be a buyer of Tesla when massive supply is coming into play and pushing price to the downside. Not interested. A lot of people, they want to try to catch the lows and all sorts of stuff. I wouldn't try doing that because you don't know how far this can drop. As far as I see things, this can easily drop to the 50s. Okay? Very easily drop to the 50s. It's at 140 now. I saw somebody post on social media. They said, who's looking to add to their long position on Tesla right now? You shouldn't be in a long position on Tesla. And see, again, this is the thing. If you don't know how to read charts, or you don't understand the supply and demand dynamics of things, you're going to be in trouble. Let me point out something here. This is an ascending structure here on Tesla, on the weekly chart. That's a big time frame. You want the weekly time frame to be with you. If you're holding a long position in a stock, you want the weekly time frame to be with you. If it's not with you, what do you have that's going to hold a stock? Unless it's coming down into institutional buying zones, and this kind of is related to what we were talking about yesterday with looking at stocks and having the chart be like a relationship. You have a relationship with the chart. You have to understand, should you be committed? Should you not? Should you press the pedal to the metal, or should you take your foot off? And in this situation, we had a very incredible dynamic shift here from price moving upwards to price moving downwards. Okay? You see that? All right? And this was taking place as Elon Musk was offloading shares. So it doesn't mean it's going to go to zero, because obviously when you look at Elon Musk and you see what he owns, it's quite remarkable. And you can go to Open Insider for that information, as we have done before, and just type in Tesla, TSLA, right? And zip through, and then you look for his name. And let's see, where is he? There you go, Elon Musk. Okay. And we're talking about owned shares. 445 million shares. 445 million shares, okay? So, so when he's offloading, 9 million shares, 5 million shares, it's not the end of the world. It's not like he's totally bailing on the company because he thinks it's going to collapse. But he thinks price is high, and it would be beneficial for him to offload some shares at these high prices. Later on, when price is lower, he'll probably buy back in or use that money for whatever he's doing. The point is that when you see significant selling coming into the market, it's not a good idea to be holding your long positions. So right now we got that descending structure, right, on price. So what would you want to wait for until, you think it's a good idea to be buying, right? Don't you want to see an ascending structure? Who do you think creates ascending structures? I just showed you. Let me show you something. This move straight down is aggressive selling. Okay. This move to the upside was in preparation for the bigger move to the downside. But a lot of people wouldn't have seen that. Instead, a lot of people would have been looking at this move to the upside thinking, oh, we've got an uptrend. And that's why it's important to understand context. Because if you understood context, you'd know that this move to the upside wasn't an uptrend being created. It was a response to higher time frame areas of selling. So they were creating a structure to the upside to contact the selling so they can continue with selling. So now this structure to the downside, that is the institutions selling, creating proper structures, creating proper trends to the downside. So the only thing that would really significantly change the direction of price to the upside is if we saw structures to the upside being built from here, okay? You see structures being built to the upside from here, then you know the odds are in your favor that price is going to continue heading higher. If that doesn't happen, stay away from it. Okay. What else we got? I think we're good on time. Yeah, 20 minutes. All right. That's pretty much it for today. Just wanted to cover some of those headlines, take a look at what was happening in the news, some charts, give you some insight as to how we look at things here at White Oak U. And that's it. I'll let you guys go. I didn't see any stock tickers that you guys wanted to look at. So we'll move along. I'll let you go. Enjoy the rest of your day. And until tomorrow morning, you take care. So long, everybody.